One of the hardest things about losing a child is watching the rest of your children kind of fall apart and not know how to handle it. I had a daughter, our baby girl, Emberly Joy, drowned in our backyard pool on August 18th, 2020. And my 15-year-old son was the last person to see her alive and put her inside the house when he went to go play basketball. And then he found her floating in the pool. And my then 17-year-old daughter was the one that had to call 911. And my husband spent at least 15 minutes performing CPR and getting all the water out of her lungs until the EMT could come. And it's been a long journey. It's been really hard seeing several of our other children struggle with loss and with the devastation and aftermath of losing their sibling. It's been hard for me and my husband as well, but we have tools that we've been using for a long time to know how to self-regulate, be self-aware, and to truly heal on the inner deepest, most level. We both feel very much a deep inner peace and just a place of total love and acceptance for the situation, which you can read about or hear about in other posts. But I wanted to help those of you who are struggling with your children that are still alive to really connect with them in a way that helps them heal. For the first probably 8 or 9 months after Emberly died, our son, he fell apart in a way that was really scary. He became silent and retreated to his room and to the computer pretty much all day, every day. And he refused to talk. The way I figured it after talking with him and finally getting him to at least nod yes or no was that he was afraid to love because of the hurt, and that he felt like it was his fault even though it wasn't. We truly believe nobody was at fault and that everything happens for us for a reason. And soon after Emberly died, I was able to find a way to connect with her on a very profound level, to the point where I would ask questions on my laptop and she would take over my fingers and give me the answers. And one of the conversations that we had over and over, well, this will become a book. I'm in the process of publishing it right now. Anyway, during the process, many of our conversations were about my kids and how to help them heal, how to help them where they are. And my husband and I were kind of torn between, do we just take the computer away from our son so that he doesn't have that outlet? Because we could see an addiction forming and we knew it wasn't the healthiest option. But Emberly, that sweet little angel, assured me that the number one and only job that Nate and I had with all of our children was to show complete unconditional love, support, and acceptance for wherever our children were. To never force things, because that makes teenagers resentful. Any kid resentful after a while. And to allow them to heal in any way that they needed to. That was really hard for me and my husband, but we did, and I'm happy to report that it's been 18 months, and probably 4 or 5 months ago, my son came in right before the whole Christmas season, and he had a whole pile of my personal development books, like 8 or 9 of them, Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then some spirituality ones like Asking It Is Given. I don't know. Think Man's Search for Meaning. He had a whole pile, and he talked and he said, "Well, I finished reading all these. What would you suggest for me to read now?" husband and I were just kind of like, oh, okay, this is really exciting. And I gave him some suggestions, and he's been thriving. We've allowed him to do online school. He's a junior this year, and he's starting his own online business and talking to me every single day. And it just feels like a totally different world. And because I followed my own dead daughter's advice, my little angel, our family is now thriving, and it feels like it's back to normal. And I am so grateful for that. So if you have children that are struggling and you want to change the situation, you want to fix it, my best angelic advice would be to love them where they are, to ask yourself what you're afraid of. And because anytime we try to control a situation, it's out of fear. For me, it was fear that I was going to lose another child, that he'd commit suicide or something. And once I was able to just love him where he was, allow him the space he needed, and literally get rid of all the judgment about it, he was able to heal, and so was I. And our relationship is probably as good as any mom with a teenage boy. And my daughters are the same. We've allowed them their space, and it's been a lovely thing for our whole family. I wouldn't wish it on my worst neighbor, or worst neighbor, worst enemy. And yet I'm thriving. I'm thriving after loss, and I'm here to help anyone else who wants help with that, who wants to heal and rid themselves of judgment, rid themselves of the guilt and the shame that comes along with feeling like you're failing as a parent, failing as a human being, as an entrepreneur. Oh, so many things I could talk about, but just watch my other videos and you can learn more.